minutes. Okay. So I'm given an equation. I know it's a linear equation, and I'm asked to find the x and y intercepts. So when x is 0, all I have to do is cover it, and I get that y equals -8. And the ordered pair is x comma y, 0, -8. Then when I said y equal to 0, I cover that, and I have 4x equals 8, which makes x equals 2, which gives us 2 comma 0. 2 comma 0 is this point. 0 comma 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 is this point. Oh, you can change the unit, of course. And here's the graph. Or you can say, you can measure two, yes, that's fine too, that's no problem. So then I kindly ask you, well, can you please? So, and I kindly ask you to write the name on or close to it, right? Please, this is very important. You need to know to write the name of the equation or function, whatever we do. Whatever we graph, you have to write the name somewhere.
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Why is it -8? Because if you're moving...
When x is 0,
yeah,
you have -8.
In order to get y, don't you have to go over to the other side of the equal sign and like divide by +1?
So when x is 0,
Yeah.
4x is 0. So you have the equation -y equals 8, which makes you have to either multiply both sides or divide both sides. Okay? So you have to multiply or divide by -1, and that's how you get -8. Yes, Brielle? Yes, Brielle, please. Yes, go ahead. Any questions? I can't talk to two people at the same time, though. I'm sorry.
I wasn't talking, I was asking.
Right, but you cannot talk in class.
Since when?
Since the inception of this college. Since the first brick was put in the basement. We cannot talk when the professor talks. It's the rule. Are we done with this?
How do you know when to?
Well, if you have any problem with the rules, then don't ask me.
I wasn't talking about that. I'm just saying we didn't.
Okay. Yes, please.
So in some problems you have to put a third point. Which problems are those?
When the line passes through the origin. When the same point, the x and y intercepts are the same point. So when they are the same point and when the line passes through the origin, you have to determine another point. But when the two, don't forget what you want to ask, but when you have two completely separate ordered pairs, one representing the x intercept and the other one representing the y intercept, you don't have to determine another point. Can you? Sure. Let's say I want to, but there is no need. Let's say I want to determine another point. So I will say, well, when x is 4, let's see what happens. I plug in 4. 4 times 4 minus y equals 8. 16 minus y equals 8. I move 16 to the other side. I have -y equals -8, so y will be 8. So the point will be 4 comma 8. But this is so much more work, unnecessary. So 4 comma 8 will be a point up here. There is no need. The easiest points to determine are always the x and y intercepts. Yes, Garrett, please.
So if you don't write your 4x minus y equals 8 on the line.
I will not deduct points, but it is important, and I just mentioned it. Yes, Garrett, please.
That was what I was going to ask.
Okay, so okay.
I guess I got like half credit.
That's fine. So what I'm saying is this is important for what follows next in math. Maybe not in this particular course, but this is extremely important to write the name of the function or the equation you graph. Okay? Perfect. Erica, is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Other questions? Anyone? Okay, perfect.
I have like 3 different answers, and the right answer was one of them.
We can take a look at it at the end of the class if that's what you want. No problem. Okay, so we are back to section 3, no, section, I'll find it in a minute. 3.2, 3.3. Okay, ready? I would like to go back to page, no, we already did that 70. Okay, so I don't need that. I'm sorry. Section 3.4, slope and rate of change. First of all, I would like to list the type of lines that we will look at. We already had all of them, but I want to list them one more time because I didn't specify what they are. So types of lines. 2 are very clear. The other 2 are somewhat clear, but I want to make sure that that's clear. So this is one type of line. As you see, it looks like this. It's coming from negative values and goes to positive values. From negative to positive. Okay? Here is the second one. It's coming from positive values and goes to negative values. See the difference? Okay. And the other 2 we know because that's how we started. So these 2 I'm going to talk about in a minute, but we know already what this is. How do we call it? Very good. It is a horizontal line. We already know this one because we graphed several of them. Vertical, right? Vertical line. So now here on this one, you see it's going up from left to right. This one is going down from left to right. Right? Okay. All these lines, I should say, except the last one, have what it's called a slope, which is how steep the line is, the steepness of the line. I'm going to copy a graph from your book. I'm going to copy graph 32, problem 32, on page 213. And I see 2 points. They are giving us 2 points. They are giving us -2, 1. And they are giving us 2, -2. And here's the line. So one more time. This is -2, 1. And this is 2, -2. I'm asked to determine how steep this line is. Find the slope of this line. Given, this is very important, this part, -2, 1 and 2, -2. Given -2, 1 and 2, -2. So the steepness of the line is given, is first of all, is denoted by lowercase m. It is called slope and is a ratio of rise over run. In other words, assuming I want to go, it doesn't matter, the direction is not important. Assuming I want to go from this point to this point, or vice versa, from this point till this point, So I'm going down or I'm going up. The steepness will not change. It doesn't matter, right? If I go uphill or I come back, the steepness of the hill will not change. It still stays the same. So I'm asked to find the rise between these 2 points. That will be the difference in y values. So how many units on the y-axis does this line go up or down? It doesn't matter. So 1, 2, 3. So between this point and this point, the line rises 3. Do you all agree? 1, 2, 3. Do we all see that? So it's going up 3 units. 3 units. Now, from left to right, or right to left, how many units do I go horizontally? If I go up from this point to this point, or if I go down from this point to this point, how many units do I go horizontally? 4 units. There is one thing that is missing here, however. All lines that go from positive values to negative values have a negative slope. So this line will have a negative slope. Please put it in. So a line that follows this pattern will have a negative slope. I chose a graph that had a negative slope. And you can say, wait a minute, you just put that negative in there. True, because I knew that the line has a negative slope. But how do I determine this? So the rise is y2 minus y1. That's the difference in y values from y2, from 1y to 1, 2. Doesn't matter which direction, but you have to be consistent with the denominator with the numerator. So from x2 minus x1. And now you should ask me, okay, what is this x1? What is this x2? How do you come up with these numbers? Here's how I come up with these numbers. Point negative 2 comma 1 for me represents 0.1, which means its x coordinate will be called x sub 1, and its y coordinate will be called y sub 1. That is my 0.1. Since it's 0.1, I denoted or I labeled its coordinates as x1 comma y1.
What does that say? M equals slope?
Rise over run.
What's that? Like now?
S-L-O-P-E.
Okay.
M, lowercase m.
Lowercase m.
Yes. The second point, 2 comma negative 2. That's second point for me. I'm going to label its coordinates x2, y2. So now I would like to use the formula, and I would like you to dictate. What should I put in order to determine, because I claim that the slope is negative 3/4. So I'm using the formula. What would you tell me to put in? So 2, so the negative 2 minus 1. So y2 minus y1 over 2 minus negative 2. What is minus negative 2? So y2 is negative 2. y1 is 1. Negative 2 minus 1. x2 is 2. Minus x1 minus negative 2 makes it positive 2. So the numerator is,
Negative 30.
and the denominator is, therefore, I will write negative 3/4. In this way, given 2 points, I can determine the slope of any line, the steepness of any line. Now, I would like to come back to my 4 different graphs. If this is a line that has a negative slope, and we'll get to find many, what do you think the slope of this line will be? Indeed. Now, what do you think the slope of this line will be? Don't say anything yet. Let's choose a horizontal line. Here's a horizontal line. Can anyone give me the equation of this line? And it's up to you what you want to give me. I would like to determine the equation of this line. What will you say? Say it again. The equation. Say it again. Right, that's true. But I wanted to determine it with you. You're right. Can anyone give me the equation of this line? And yes, there is more than one correct answer because I didn't put any units there. That would be a point. I want the equation of this line. Y equals 2. Y equals 2x would be like this. A horizontal line has only y in it. Cannot have x. If you remember, we graphed them. Good. So now I will ask you to give me two ordered pairs. Anywhere you want. Both on the negative side, one on the positive, whatever. Just give me 2 points.
-4 becomes 0.
It can't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's on the y equals 2.
Sorry, -4, 2.
Excellent.
And 2, 2.
Exactly. Excellent. Now I would like you to dictate the slope. How do I determine the slope of this line? And you have to write y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 every time you use the formula. So now please dictate. This is your x1, y1. This is your x2, y2. You can label them if you want to. x1, y1, x2, y2. Dictate and I will put it in. Very good.
2 plus 4.
Very good. So what is the top?
2.
What is the bottom?
6.
Good. I have $0 and I choose 6 of you to share my 0 with. How much will you get from me? 0. Exactly as Tim suggested. One more time. What is the slope of any horizontal line? Excellent. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. Now we know, yes, please.
Why do you minus on the top and add on the bottom?
The formula says y2 minus y1. 2 minus 2.
Okay.
Then the formula at the bottom says x2 minus x1, which means 2 minus -4. 2 minus -4 is +4.
Minus.
2 minus -4
Okay. Got it.
is 2 plus 4. Better?
Got it.
Perfect. So now we know that we have slopes with positive slope. Sorry, take that back. We know we have lines with positive slope, lines with negative slope, lines with 0 slope, and now we have not discussed this yet. So let's discuss that, and then we'll come back. So can anyone give me the equation of this line?
X equals 5.
Excellent. And now can anyone give us 2 points anywhere you want on this line? 5,3. Excellent. And
5, -2.
excellent. And I would like you to write or find the slope for us. What is the definition of the slope? How do we define the slope? What is the formula? We have to repeat it and repeat it and repeat.
2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. M equals
Excellent.
Why is x equal to 5? 5 minutes over, right?
No, I just drew a line
Okay.
and I asked, can anyone give me an equation for this line?
Okay. That's
So please dictate. So this is my x1, y1, and this is my x2, y2. Yes, please.
-2
-2
minus 3
Yes? Over?
5 minus 5,
Good. So the top is,
negative 5,
the bottom is,
0,
how do we call this?
no slope.
Undefined. Division by 0 is undefined. So I finally come back to my fourth graph. So what do I write as the slope of the vertical line? It does not exist or undefined. So I know 4 different types: a positive slope, a negative slope, a zero slope, and an undefined slope. Excellent. Very good. So now I would like to, yes, of course. This one or this one?
Negative, positive,
Okay. I would like to copy another graph for you from page 212. Let's say I'm going to pick problem 10 on page 212. And we are given 1, negative 2, and I see 3, 3. Yes. So we are given this line, and we're asked to find the slope. So one more time, 3, 3, and 1, negative 2. Ready? The formula is
m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
absolutely perfect. So now you choose the point that it's 1 for you. It doesn't matter. The slope will still be the same. If you go up or down, the slope does not change. So if you consider this x1, y1, and this x2, y2, or vice versa, the slope will be the same. Negative 2. Very good. Over. The order has to be consistent, though. 1 minus 3. So first of all, before we even look at those calculations, what type of slope do you expect? Absolutely positive. So the numerator is negative 5. The denominator is, careful, negative 2. So the answer is, as expected, 5/2, which is a positive slope. I would like to copy a few equations, and I would like you to identify the slope for me. I'm copying from page 213, from problems 33 through 40 on page 213. And I'm copying x equals 6, y equals negative 4, x equals negative 3, y equals 0. I would like you to identify the slope of these lines. The slope of this line is?
I'm sorry.
Very good. It's a vertical line, so therefore the slope must be undefined. Excellent. What about this one? Very good. It's a horizontal line. That's why the slope is 0. Very good. What about this? The slope here is? It's a x equals negative 3, which is a vertical line. Undefined. And the slope of the x-axis? 0. It's a horizontal line. The slope is 0. Any questions? Any questions so far?
of x equals 6.
So if x equals 5 is this line, x equals 6 is right here next to it.
Yeah.
Any vertical line has an undefined slope. So x equals 6 will be this line.
That'd be a vertical line. Yeah.
So this line has an undefined slope, so will this one.
Okay.
Better? Very good.
If there was an equation there, it might not.
Say it again.
If there was an equation there, then they might not be. But because it's one.
If it's not 1 point. Careful. A point means 2, 3. But this is x equals 6. It's not a point on the Cartesian system. It's a whole line of points. Okay? So if I want to graph, maybe we should discuss this because this is too important. So if you want to graph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you will not graph this. Because this is 6, 0, and this is not what we're asked to graph. We're asked to graph this. For any x, this will be, for any y, this will be 6. Therefore, the slope is undefined. Better? Okay. Other questions here? Okay. The first equation of a line now. We only know how to determine the slope of a line when we are given 2 points. That's all we know right now. But now I would like to determine the equation of a line, assuming I have 2 points and let's say, for simplicity for now, that I am given one of the points is the y-intercept. If we have the slope of a line, can you give me a slope?
3/2.
Excellent. So if I have a slope, and assuming I have and the y-intercept, can anyone give me a y-intercept? Remember, this is a y-intercept. What do I know about it? For sure. X equals 0, right? So give me the y-intercept. 0, 2. Very good. So if I have the slope and I have the y-intercept, we will use the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. I'll read everything one more time. If we have the slope of a line, and we pick the slope as being 3/2, which means it goes up 3, and at the same time to the left 2. No, I'm sorry, to the right 2, because it's positive slope, right? So it goes up 3 and to your right 2. Okay, positive slope. So if I have the slope and I do have the y-intercept, I can use what it's called the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line, which is this. Yes? Everybody knows that. Excellent. Perfect. So now, can anyone tell us what is M? Good. Can anyone tell us what will B be? Yes, exactly. So B is not really B, is 0, B. And since you gave me the y-intercept as 0, 2, then what is B? 2. Can anyone now give us the equation of this line with a slope of 3/2 and the y-intercept 0, 2? Excellent.
That's it.
That's it. That is it. That's the equation of a line if we have the slope and the y-intercept. Yes.
Can you give me that so I can copy it down?
Yes, of course. Right here. If we have the slope of a line, and you picked 3/2, and the y-intercept, which is 0, 2, we have a way of determining the equation of the line. And that way is using the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line, which is this. This is what we see here. Y equals mx plus b. Since we had the slope, which is 3/2, and we have b, which is 2, we were able to determine this equation. Any questions?
Is that gonna be on Canvas? You gonna put that on this Canvas? No.
I did not miss one of them.
Okay, cool.
Because if I did, I'm sure I would have heard from you. So I did not miss any, and I hope I will never miss any. Okay. So now I would like to, we are given, so this is a different problem. Given 0, -3 and 2, -4, find the equation of the line passing through these points. In case you're wondering, why do we need all this? And the answer would be for word problems. Yes, Nina? The answer is for word problems that have linear equations in them, or linear models, I should say. So we're given 2 points. We're given 0, -3, and we're given 2, -4. I'm asked to find the equation of the line passing through these two. What is the starting point? What do I have to find first? For sure. Exactly. I cannot do anything before I find the slope. Now you can label them the way you like. I will label them as x1, y1, and x2, y2. I have to write the equation of the slope, or the formula if you want, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now please tell me what to write. When you're ready. -4 minus -3, which is +3. Very good. Over 2 minus 0. The numerator will be -1. The denominator will be 2. So this is -1/2. So I determine the slope. Now the question is, how do I write the equation? What do I need to use in order to write the equation? So y equals -1/2 x. Exactly. Good. So this will be indeed y equals -1/2 x minus 3. What do you notice? This is a very important question. What do you notice at this equation? Y equals mx plus b. Yes, it's the slope-intercept form, but what else can you say about it? Maybe I don't know how to give you a hint or through my question. So what I would like you to remember is that this equation is solved for y. Please remember that. It's solved for y. Extremely important to remember that. So now if I give you the equation, let's say problem 45 on page 213. Two x plus y equals 7. We're given this equation. We are only asked to find the slope. I need to find the slope of this line. What do I have to do first before I try to identify it? Because if I don't do that step, forgive me, if I don't do that step, I cannot identify correctly the slope. Yes. I think he wanted to say something, Gary?
So you have to find the intercept first?
No? Gary?
Make it to where it says y.
Solve for y. Exactly. How do I solve this equation for y?
So x is 0.
Select.
No.
Subtract 2x.
Subtract 2x. So y equals negative 2x plus 7. And now if you write this underneath, y equals mx plus b, you can easily identify its slope and easily identify the y-intercept.
Why don't you divide by 2?
I didn't divide by 2.
Why
And, yeah,
and divide?
so, opposite.
This term is a positive term. When I move it to the other side, it will become a negative term.
So basically you're canceling that out to leave y.
You can write, if that's what you want, negative 2x, negative 2x, and then you have y equals negative 2x plus 7, if that's better for you. So the slope is, so this is how you compare. So the slope is, and then the y-intercept will be 0, comma 0, comma 7. Any questions?
So where did the 0 come from?
That's a point on the y-axis has to have 0 for x.
When you're trying
Right?
to solve for y, you're setting x to
So
0.
when we want to graph an equation and this point is the y-intercept, this is on the line x equals 0. So the x-coordinate must be 0. Is that okay? Perfect.
Can you do another one of those?
Yes, of course. So I would like to look at problem 47. 2x minus 3y equals 10. Say it again. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Do that.